Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to day one, week one of Web Fundamentals. We are excited to get this journey started with you. And it is, like it says here, an emotional journey. All right, it's not just an intellectual journey here where we learn a new skill. This is a boot camp. This is something different than a university. This is different than the typical learning experience we have in high school. This is an intense training course. Okay, that means that we expect you to put up to 70 hours per week into this course. It can be quite difficult. That means you have to manage your life outside of the boot camp so that you can put as much work as possible into this boot camp, because it is like learning a new language. I don't know if you know more than one language, or if any of you learned more than one language at one point in your life. I remember living in a foreign country once where I didn't speak the language and my brain was overwhelmed, definitely overwhelmed. So it is an overwhelming experience for that reason. It's also because we will be learning so much material in such a short amount of time. And so let's just go over a roadmap of what our stress levels will be like as we go through this course. Okay, we will be learning several stacks. Okay, and a stack is a compilation or a group of technologies that will help to make a full functioning application, much like the types of applications we deal with on a normal daily basis, like Facebook, Instagram, an email server, or just an app that does basic things like keep track of calendar reminders. Okay, there's all these types of possibilities that we're going to make. And to begin with, we're going to start with making the front end. So I like to use this analogy. When you go to a restaurant and you walk in and a server greets you and shows you the table, gives you a menu. When you see the menu, you see a list of dishes that you can select from, a list of items that you can click on, like a website, like an application. This is the very first view of the restaurant. Okay. The waiter greets you and you have this introduction experience. But what you're really there for is the food. You're not there completely for the experience, but it is nice to have that there, right? You can have a great you can have a restaurant with a poor user experience, but great food. But we want the full experience, right? So first, we're going to learn how to create that front-facing view. That's going to be the front end. And that's what we're essentially going to be touching on in Web Fundamentals, right? We're going to be using front end in all the stacks, okay? But we're going to just touch on how to get the basics down of a front end. And so that's going to include this stack of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. JS stands for JavaScript. And these are languages that we're going to compile together to create that front end view. Okay, so let's say you're in the restaurant, you click on or you select the menu item that you want to choose from. Let's say you choose what's an Italian restaurant dish? Spaghetti and meatballs. Okay, and so the waiter brings your order to the cooks. That's more like the back end. They're going to compile together all the food that you want in a nice way, and they're going to put that food or that data for you using what they have in the fridge. That's something like the database. Okay, so they're going to put all that information together for you in a nice way and bring it back to the server. The server brings it to you. You have the food and you have that experience. So that's something like a full stack application. So as we go through this, you're gonna have a good time learning HTML. It's not going to be so difficult. But then CSS, that's going to give the style to the HTML. That's going to give a little bit of pizzazz to what you're creating, and then the JavaScript's going to make it more functional than what CSS can do. We're going to be learning a lot of different algorithms in JavaScript. JavaScript is used for creating the functions of a page. We'll be learning algorithms all through this course. We'll be doing this starting tomorrow morning. And those can seem abstract, and you'll maybe not be sure how it connects to creating an application just yet, but you have to trust us. This is something you'll need to be able to accomplish to pass a interview to enter a company for this software engineering job that you're now getting into. Okay. So you'll have exams after 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you'll have your first exam to pass the Web Fundamentals course. You'll move on to a new stack with a new instructor. It'll be the same experience all over again. You'll start with something easy. It'll get progressively harder. It'll get easy again, and then it will then become extremely hard at the exam. Then you'll have a week where you can create a project with what you've learned after completing the exam. Okay. Then you will relearn a new language. In this case, it'll be the MERN stack, and you'll have the same experience all over again. Well, similar. So you'll have this learning curve where it starts off easy, increases difficulty, it levels off, and then it gets really hard again during the exam. And then your projects week, having completed the exam, you'll be able to do that with some ease. And then you'll have that same experience with Java. Java is a little bit more difficult. That's at the very end. So let's go ahead and go over what we expect from you here at the dojo, okay? I'm going over this material on the platform so you can find this for yourself. It should be in the email that we sent you. There's a link to the calendar. It looks like this. We'll go over this in just a bit, but let's go over what we expect from you here at the dojo before we get started, okay? So congratulations, you made it here. This can be a big step. I know it was for me. When I first learned of the dojo, I had this innate feeling that I had to join, and I didn't really want to. I knew it was going to be hard. I already went to school. I already went to college. Why do I have to do something new? That's how life is sometimes, you know. So you're here, and you pushed yourself to be here. You took a bet on yourself. Maybe you took a loan. Maybe you saved up. Either way, this course is something that is a financial investment. It's an investment with time. And it is an exercise that you'll be doing with your mind. Okay, it's different than a course like a college course. We will train you as if you're already starting the job. So some of the stuff that some of the obstacles that you'll be experiencing, it may be foreign to you. It's a different learning style, but we want to assure you this is something that's tested and proven. We wouldn't put you through this just to give you a hard time. This is something we've carefully planned for each and every one of you so that you can have the best learning experience, okay? So the main tool that we'll be using to learn is this platform. It's this Learn platform. It's designed to have all of our assignments on it, it's going to have all the information we need to pass the test. And we will be referring you back to this platform over and over. I'll be teaching from this platform because when you learn so much information at once, you may not know how to memorize it all at once, but you'll have something to refer back to. You can say, oh, I know where that was. I know where that was noted. I don't know exactly what the rule was, but I know where it lives. So I can go back to that. Okay. We are going to give you assignments that you need to complete, and we'll go over how many assignments and which assignments are essential to complete. And then we are going to do lectures every day. We're going to have 3 lecture periods a day for the most part. We'll be doing algorithms in the morning, as I mentioned, and then we'll have a lecture after that, after we take a small break, and then at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we'll be doing another lecture. Okay, so we'll be going through material pretty fast. You have plenty of time to rest in between, but it will still be an intense course. You'll still have to do the assignments after. We'll have plenty of lab periods to collaborate and work on this together. Go over more of that in a little bit. But we'll have these 3 ways. So we'll have the platform, we'll be doing practice assignments, and we'll be going over this material and lecture. So we'll have plenty of ground to cover in just a small amount of time. Okay, and you have this video to watch on your own. Go over that video. I'm not going to play it here. Practice versus core assignments. Okay, there are different types of assignments, and if I skip ahead in the lecture here, you will see, for example, this pencil mark with a P on it. Okay, that would mean it's a core assignment. Or if I skip even more ahead, you'll see this one. This assignment doesn't have a P on it, doesn't need to be submitted, but it's highly encouraged. I highly encourage you to do all the assignments. There are even bonus assignments that you can go through if you are so far ahead that you want to learn more, you feel like you're ahead in the class. But we also want to encourage you to be able to help your fellow cohorts understand things that you have already mastered or feel like you've mastered, because you will solidify that knowledge by helping one another. You'll be able to help each other gain better knowledge if you are helping each other learn. Okay. So what are the practice assignments? Okay. You are expected to do 100% of the practice assignments and 100% of the core assignments. The requirement for staying out of academic probation and on track for graduation, however, is submitting 90% of your core assignments. So you have to stay up to date. Okay. Naturally, because this is new for a lot of you, you're going to fall behind, but that's okay. You're going to have to play a little bit of catch up sometimes. I certainly did when I was a student at the dojo, and all of you are at different levels of knowledge to begin with. Maybe all of you are fresh beginners. Maybe some of you already have that experience of coding. I know some students even had a job in coding before doing the coding dojo. Okay. No matter, this is going to be a requirement for all of you. So you have to submit your assignments, and you have to submit these assignments in order to even take the test at the end of the week. Okay. So what's the point? Practice assignments will help you learn skills and concepts you'll need for core assignments. Okay. If you skip ahead and just listen to these lectures and try to do the core assignments based on what you're learning here, you're going to miss some information. And you're bound to take the test and forget a thing or two, or forget a couple rules here and there. So go through the whole platform thoroughly. But if you really fall behind, remember that the core assignments are what you need to attempt if you're falling too far behind. Okay. If you do fall behind, there is a counselor that we will have you contact, and we'll go over more of what that means. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide here. We have 3 rules here at the dojo. Okay. Be present, be humble, and develop strength through struggle. So what it means to be present is being on time. Okay. Make this meeting here on time. Don't struggle in. I know things happen, power outages, internet goes out, family emergencies, someone comes at the front door right when class starts, but do your best. Okay. We will be taking attendance, and we will be counting attendance toward your time here at the dojo and be evaluating that. And you'll need to have a certain amount of attendance to pass. Okay. So we'll go over exact details on that in a little bit. Be humble. Okay. Doesn't matter if you are an experienced coder, an experienced developer, or if you feel like, you should be ahead and you're beating yourself up because you're not. Just be humble. It's okay. You're learning something new. All right. I remember my first time at the dojo, I felt like I was the furthest behind. Everyone was a genius in my cohort. And then I sticked around for another couple cohorts, and I realized, okay, this cohort is a different level. They're more at my level. If I was with them, I would be at this level. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't bother yourself beating yourself up if you don't feel like you're catching on as soon as you should have. Just be humble about it. Okay, you're learning something new. Everyone has different learning curves, and it will be like that emotional journey graph. It'll be like an exponential curve. You'll feel like, okay, I'm not sure what I'm learning here. The curve goes almost straight up, but then it levels out eventually. Somewhere along the line, you're going to say, oh, I get it. And that's what develop strength through struggle means. This past year, I picked up rock climbing for the first time. And I thought I was going to be a natural, climber, but it was extremely hard. And going up those walls was not just a physical experience, it was a mental experience. Okay, so that's a bit like here at the dojo. You're going to go up these walls, but don't give up. Okay, sometimes you may fail, but there's another rule here at the dojo: fail fast and get up quickly. All right, so if you do fail, and some of you are bound to fail, don't get discouraged. Okay, I myself even failed a couple tests when I was a student here. It's okay. Eventually you learn, and then you get really good. Okay, and then you're able to teach others. So it's just that type of experience. Okay, maybe some of you are naturals. Maybe you're going to pass everything. Great. Well, still be humble. Help your fellow cohort mates, because you never know who you'll be working with in the future. You never know. Maybe that person you're helping could be your future boss. Okay. So be humble, be respectful. Don't use explicit language. Treat this like it would be a job. Okay. We do like to have a sense of humor here. I think I've got a joke prepared. Let's see. It went away. Okay, that's my first joke. No joke. Never cheat on assignments. Okay. Pair programming is encouraged. So you do want to work with your neighbor, but you should still be willing. You should be writing your own code. Don't copy and paste from a classmate. This is not going to help you. You didn't spend all this money to copy and paste from another person just to get a certificate or degree, because truth be told, when you get on the phone with a recruiter or the employer, they may not know what a boot camp is. They may not know what the dojo is. So you kind of have to sell how hard you worked here, how you've learned so much in a small amount of time. And that's not going to be something you can sell if you're cheating. If you're taking information from another programmer here, and you're not able to prove that you're able to do it, you may be able to cheat your way through an interview, but when you get on the job, no one's going to help you. No one's going to hold your hand. They're going to notice, oh, this guy is out of his league. This lady's out of her league. It doesn't matter. You'll be out of your league if you cheat. Okay, so don't cheat. Never cheat on exams. We'll find out, and it'll be really awkward and uncomfortable. But we know that none of you will do that, right? So all honest citizens. All right. Attendance. You recommended that you're here 100% of the time, but you're really required 80% of the time. We know things happen. If you have to go to a doctor, we would like to see a doctor's note. This is like a job. Okay. We want you to be here 100% of the time, but we know things happen. If for some reason your power goes out, or if your internet goes out, that will be counted against you. So, try to get that handled on your end. It'll be the same as if you had a job. It's not a really good excuse. If your internet or power is going out, they're going to say, hey, we're going to need you to go to the office, but this is not an option in this case. Okay. So have that handled on your end. And for assignment completion, we are saying that you should do 100% of the assignments, 95 to 100% of the assignments. But what we're really looking for is 90% of the core assignments completed. So for this course, there are 7 core assignments. So you shouldn't really miss one, because then that will bring you below the 90%. Okay, so get all the core assignments completed, and you need that amount to get to be able to take the test, to be eligible to take the test. Okay. In order to complete your time here at the dojo, you're going to be required to pass this Web Fundamentals course. This will be the first course that you will need to pass. It is you'll be gaining your yellow belt once you pass this. And then you'll be required to take the Python stack, okay? And you can either get a red belt, which is the minimum pass requirement, or you can get a black belt. And then you will be required to take one additional belt, and that will be either the Java stack or the MERN stack. And then you'll be have completion of 90% of the assignments of the third stack, okay? If you've gotten that far, you might as well take the test, take the exam. So you will be learning a lot of information, 3 stacks plus web fundamental basics. For the, we're not going to go over these part-time flex programs because none of you are that. We're full-time here. You may be eligible for 10% excused absences, which do not count against your 80% attendance for these reasons. If there's an illness or death in the student's immediate family, if there's an illness or injury affecting you, unavoidable change in your conditions of employment, unavoidable geographical transfer, if you have to relocate unexpectedly, unanticipated difficulties with childcare arrangements, or technological difficulties, okay? So if something happens, like you accidentally spill coffee all over your keyboard, we're not going to be, too hard on you. At my time at the dojo, I freaked out once because I had bought this, I was traveling in Australia. I bought this laptop there. And when I was working here in the US, the power supply died on me. And I didn't know that that was the reason my laptop died. I was freaking out. I was in the middle of the course. I didn't even have the money to pay for a new one at that point. I was just trying to make ends meet while I was studying, and I somehow it felt like a special moment where I found this computer repair guy. Said, "Hey, it's just replace this charger. This Australian charger is not going to work on an American power outlet anymore. Got to get a normal one." Okay, that's an example. All right, so let's just try to keep our technology intact. If you have any issues, you can always email support@codingdojo.com. You can email me. My email is on the calendar. We'll go over that in a second. So let us know if you run into any of these difficulties, okay? Exams. Okay, as I mentioned, you will need to complete 90% of the core assignments in order to be eligible to unlock and take the exam, okay? For the exam itself, you'll need a score of 8 out of 10 or higher. The exams include most of the critical fundamental concepts that we will be teaching you to show that you're proficient in this material that we'll be teaching you. We want to be sure that you really understand these concepts in order to move on, because if you don't, you'll have too difficult of a time in the next stacks. This is the introduction material, so it is by comparison easier than the material you will encounter in the future. So if you don't pass this, you won't be able to continue. All right. And we'll go over details of how you can find out how well you're doing in a bit. But let's move on to academic honesty, okay? As I mentioned, you're not going to be able to cheat in this course, okay? It is okay to ask peers for help on assignments. We really want to encourage you to ask each other for help, but you cannot ask for help on the exam, okay? So whatever help that you gain from your peers, you'll have to retain that knowledge for yourself for taking the exam, or you won't be able to pass it, okay? It's okay to read online, to get other resources online. We want to encourage you to do research outside of the platform. If you don't find what you need here on the platform, all the material you do need is here, but you can still look outside and outside resources. You'll most likely need to do that on the job anyway. It's not okay, however, to copy someone else's assignment and claim it as your own. You can't copy and paste or just change here a little there to indent here or there. We're going to find out. Okay. Note to assignments are going to be exactly the same. We're going to find out if, hey, this looks like a lot like the one I already graded here. Did you work with this person? Did you just take the code exactly? Be sure that when you are working with another member here, you're not just taking the information straight from them. Learn from them, but don't copy. Okay, exactly. Citing external sources, as I mentioned, is fine, but you need to be able to cite those sources. Okay. Submitting your best effort on an assignment, then viewing solutions is okay. But what's not okay is submitting a blank or unrelated assignment in order to view the solutions file. So we will be checking your assignments. We'll be making sure that you're not just submitting irrelevant material just to look like you've submitted it. So be sure you're submitting the right assignment for the right assignment that we're requiring for you. Okay. Don't just submit something random. If it looks like you've submitted another a previous assignment for an irrelevant assignment, we'll notice as well. It'll be really awkward if we find out. Okay, so don't do that. In terms of academic honesty, you want to do your best work, because when you are on the job, you're going to have to show your own work. They're going to have code reviews on the job. And if you're caught, straight taking it from the internet, even, there's going to be something bad there. Okay. You need to be able to understand the code you're using and explain why. Okay. So we do have an honor code. We want you to work with this honor code, work through these scenarios, and try to figure out if each one is okay or not okay. This is a video, so you go through this on your own. These are different scenarios we want you to ask yourself if it's all right. Okay. This is pretty much the same material here. Code you can reference and take snippets from our material on the platform. We will give you code that you can augment and change, that you will be copying from the platform. We want to encourage you to use that. That's okay. Code created in class demos. So I will be doing demonstrations of how to build certain assignments. You can go back and watch those videos. We'll have a playlist that I'll be putting those videos on YouTube, and you can view those playlists, see what I've coded, and you can take it from me. Take my code if you're going to do anything. Watch the videos, study them. They're all that you need to pass the assignments are going to be there. Let's see here. Code present in help topics or Q&A sites. There's websites that you can go onto Google and say, you can ask Google, how do I do this? And most likely the top results are going to be from a website called Stack Overflow. And that's going to be a website that you'll be using probably for the rest of your coding career, as long as it's a relevant website. There's plenty of other articles, documentation, YouTube videos that you can get information from, and code found on GitHub. You can reference code that you find on GitHub. GitHub is a place where people save their code to. You can reference it, but not use it wholesale and say it's your own work. So don't just copy someone else's project, download it and put your name on it and say, hey, look what I built. No, that's not going to work. So you got to build your own stuff. Okay. You can reference how they did it. You can look and see into like opening the hood of a car engine and seeing how they built that car engine, but you can't just take it out and put it in your car and say, this is my work. Okay. Exam rules. Let's go over what this means. You cannot be the majority of an existing application or repo made by anyone other than yourself. Okay, so when you're going through the exam, you may want to reference your own work, stuff that you have previously built, because that's something you have. It's in front of you anyways. So you can use that, but the majority you can't just slap on from another application and say, hey, I already built this. So you all the exams, you're not going to be aware of what they are going to be required until the day of the exam. We're going to give you a code that you submit, and then you're going to see the exam and what we're requiring of you until that very moment. So don't share that information. And like I said, you can reference your previous existing material, but you can't just copy it wholesale. Okay. You can't, it can't be an exact replica. Must be a new application. Majority of the code has to be your own. Referencing documentation online, that's okay. You can reference help topics or Q&A sites, like I said, on Stack Overflow for the exam to pass the exam. So you can still go on the internet and search if you need to find a particular way to make something work. And you cannot reference other Coding Dojo exams. So if you have to retake the exam for the second or third time, you can't just go back and reference how you did that previous exam, okay? And you cannot collaborate on the exam. It has to be by yourself. Of course, you may, ask for help here and there, and one of the instructors or TAs will be able to drop in and give you a hint, but we're not going to give you the full answer by itself, okay? So this is part of the honor system. We assume that you are going to follow it, okay? Not just for the sake of the Coding Dojo and our integrity, but for yourself, right? Because you want to better yourself. That's why you're here anyways. Yeah, we appreciate you being honest with us. We are also going to go over some surveys. All right, there's going to be mid and end week surveys for you to evaluate us, our curriculum, and your experience here with us, because we want to improve ourselves. Okay, so there's going to be one mid-track survey. At the halfway mark, you're going to give us a grade. One final track survey at the end of the stack, and a student satisfaction survey. This is going to be 2 to 3 times per week. Okay, we want to make sure you're satisfied. We know you put a large sum of money to gain this experience. We want to make this the best experience for you as possible. Okay, and Monday recaps, we're going to recap feedback and go over this information if we need to improve in any way, or if we need to just check in with you to see how we can make this experience better for you. And things that we will change and adjust based on your feedback, and things that we won't change. So you may not like a certain way that we get things done around here. Maybe that's how we intended to do it anyway. So we'll go over how far we're going to bend and what we're not going to change because of our design system. Okay. And let's go over this chapter survey. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're going to go over this survey and give us a rating here. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our schedule. You should have received this in our email. It will have a number of links here. You already are here, but here's the Zoom link on the top left. Here you can email me. If you click here, you'll have my work email here. I will have a playlist on YouTube that you can access through here. All these assignments here, I will have these updated links. So these specific assignments will go to the videos I've already covered. Don't click them now because they're not relevant. I will go ahead and adjust that as we go along. You'll also have access to the GitHub here. Let me see if I can open this already. There's nothing available to see, but it will have the assignments, the repositories that you can download. This is the coding work that I'll be showing and demonstrating in the videos. Okay, so you'll be able to access the projects that I'll be building in front of you during lectures and download them and compare what you're doing to what I'm doing. Don't just rip it completely to complete the assignments. I maybe go over some assignments here and there to give you a couple hints on how to get ahead. Okay. And by the way, we do encourage you to read ahead. If you are up to date with what we are doing already, feel free to read ahead. In fact, it is highly encouraged, because if you read ahead, by the time I'm explaining this material in the lecture, You won't be overwhelmed. All right. You'll be somewhat familiar with it already. You'll be able to answer the questions. You'll be a STAR student, and we'll all like you even more. Okay. There is the helpful links. There is these links here that you can click. And I'll go over what these are in a second here. But let's see here. There's also Christian you can email. He is our class TA. He will be helping me, helping you in various ways. And we have certain office hours. So generally, well, all the time we'll be working in Mountain Time. Okay, this is the time zone that we are working on. So if I say any time that we'll be meeting back, like all the times here on the calendar are on Mountain Time. So our first lecture today will be at 10. So that'll be in about 30 minutes. We'll have a break after this. So that will be at 10 Mountain Time. You can compare your time zone here so you can know what your time zone is in Mountain Time. Okay, so from 8 to 9 Mountain Time, we'll have office hours that you can hang out with Christian, ask him any questions, and I'll have the second office hours where you can bother me. Okay, we want you to bother us with questions. We don't want you to get stuck here. We have a rule called the 20-minute rule. Okay, we'll go over that in just a second. Let's see here, the assignments checklist. This is a checklist of all the core assignments here. So for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, these are the core assignments in the blue highlight. Optional ones and practice assignments are in white. But again, we encourage you to do all the assignments so that you can be best prepared to take the test. And you'll learn more anyways, okay? So there's also bonus assignments, but we won't grade you on that or bother you if you don't finish that, okay? Let's see here. Any other information I should go over? Yes, here. Let's go to the schedule. By the way, on this schedule, there's multiple tabs. That's how I'm accessing this besides the links at the top of the calendar. We will have code reviews with you. This will be planned on these days, Thursday and Friday. We'll be going over your assignments and grading them and giving you some constructive feedback on how you can make these better. Okay. And let's go over these helpful links. Okay. There's the Learn platform, obviously. We've already been reading from that. There's this website called W3 Schools, and this website has some great information. Let's just go there really quick. For example, HTML. It'll have this example code already, and you can learn from here. Okay, this is not something we built, but there's plenty of helpful information here. I use this all the time to learn. Whatever I need. If I'm forgetting something, I'll often go to this website as a documentation reference. I'll go to Stack Overflow if I need some help from other coders. But I already introduced that website. It's not on here. There is the Coding Dojo Algo app. You guys should have already been working on how to complete this as a prerequisite for this course. It is an app that will allow you to go through some coding challenges that will get you ready for morning algorithms each day. Okay. There's some websites that focus on, they're like games that you can play that focus on specific rules regarding CSS. And it's a fun little game. I played this game. It can be a brain teaser. Yeah, it's worth doing. But it's not essential for you to do. It's just extra work that you can give yourself to get better. So we have this file folder structure that we recommend here at the dojo. Obviously, you can have this folder structure any way you want, but this is what we recommend. Okay, so you have your desktop where you can view all your folders. Okay, and in your desktop, you want to make a folder where you have all the dojo assignments. Okay, and within the dojo assignments folder, make another folder called Web Fundamentals. And then within Web Fundamentals, make another folder that has all your HTML assignments, okay? And then for each HTML assignment, make a folder, and then inside that folder, make a file, okay? In that file, it will be specific to that assignment, that folder's assignment. So you have multiple assignments for HTML, so that's why you have multiple folders, and then so on for JavaScript and CSS and algorithms, okay? That way you'll have things nicely separated. When we're helping you understand why there's some issues with your code not working, it may be because you just don't have a very organized file structure, folder file structure. So we want to encourage you to use this structure, okay? So for now, for the first week, for the first day, you're only going to have assignments with HTML, so it'll only go this deep. You'll have a couple folders deep with one assignment. Okay, so that is our recommended way. Obviously, you don't have to put it on your desktop. You can put it in a documents folder, anywhere else you want, but that's our recommendation, okay? There are also VS Code shortcuts. So Visual Studio Code is, we'll be going over that in the first lecture. It is basically a program where you can write code. It's like Microsoft Word for coding, okay? It's where all your assignments will be built on, and there's lots of shortcuts to make this experience a lot easier. Okay, you want to access this link to view these shortcuts. I'll be explaining these shortcuts in detail in a little bit, but the better you get at using these, and you don't have to know all of them. Maybe to begin with, you just learn five at a time. And you don't have to know any of them really to use Visual Studio Code, but it's going to help you big time if you know some shortcuts. And it's going to make you look like the experienced coder when you're on the job and you're able to maneuver through the program pretty fast because you know all these keyboard shortcuts that make you look a little bit more impressive, and it's going to help you anyways, okay? So there's a difference between the Mac and Windows keyboard. So these are the shortcut differences for each. Bootstrap CSS, that's something we're going to be going over at the very end after we've done CSS. This is a documentation for Bootstrap, so don't worry about what this is for now. We'll be going over this more in detail in a few lectures, few days from now. The basic 13. So these are basic 13 algorithms that we feel like you should be able to do in order to be proficient, or at least beginning proficiency at JavaScript, okay? So for example, printing numbers from 1 to 255. That would be something to get started with. And at the very end, let's say you have an array of numbers. We'll go over what an array means a little bit later. But it's a list of numbers and you want to shift everything to a certain degree. So it ranges in difficulty from 1 to 13. And so get good at these on your own time. We'll be going over how to make algorithms work in general anyway in the morning lectures, but here is some algorithms you can get started with on getting yourself familiar and getting good practice in for now. Okay, in addition to that, there's a large PDF that we've compiled. It used to be a book, but it's now a PDF. And this PDF has a lot of algorithms in it. You know, when you take an interview test, they will give you, you don't know what they're going to give you. They may give you a coding assignment, like you have to build something like an application, a front-facing application. And you don't know what difficulty it may be. You know, it may be just building a simple for loop, like iterating through a list of numbers. It may be a really difficult algorithm. And I've seen them all, few and far between. So this is just going to be another resource in addition to a lot of online resources that you're going to find to get better. So if you find yourself wanting to practice algorithms after your time at the dojo, or even if you have some time in between, then go through this PDF and get yourself familiar. Okay, I've already went over this, but let's just do this again. Here's my email. Here's Christian's email. So if you'd like to send him an email, I'd also like to introduce Heidi. Heidi's here, and she's also an instructor. If for any reason I or Krishna are not available, you can always ask Heidi if you need something as far as help or anything else. There's also the career services. Okay, you have here at the Coding Dojo a resource to help you find a job once you've passed this course at the Coding Dojo. They will help you buffer your resume and give you a lot of helpful tips on how to get your foot in the door at your desired company. Okay, they'll help you with a lot of helpful things for making your profile stand out. I learned a lot from these career services, and you have it for life. Okay, so let's say you get a job, you lose the job, a couple of years later, you can come back and say, hey, I've been looking for work. Please help me. Am I doing anything wrong? Am I saying anything wrong? They'll help you with interview material, like what to do and not to do. Okay, so it's a great service. Take advantage of it because it's what you're paying for. Student support email. This is if you need anything as far as accommodations. If anything happens with your life circumstances or if you just feel like you're not sure what you're doing here, you're not sure if you should be here, all those stressful questions, we're here to help you with that too. Okay, that's going to come up possibly, but the support is there for a wide range of reasons. And there's also curriculum feedback. Okay, if you're going through our platform and you feel like, hey, you know what, this could have been worded better, or I understand what you're trying to teach me, but you're just not reaching me for ABC, these reasons. You can always give us feedback. We appreciate it. Okay, we'll change based off what we think is good feedback. So email us and let us know. Okay, and let's go over the 20-minute rule. Okay, the 20-minute rule. What we want you to do is to struggle. If you find yourself stuck, struggle with it for 20 minutes. Okay, try different things. Search online, go onto the platform, check the official documentation of that specific tool that you will be trying to build from. And there's different resources you'll find online. Sometimes at the top of the Google search list, you'll see Stack Overflow. Sometimes you'll see WC3. Sometimes you'll see some services that want you to pay monthly fee. Some other sources that, you want to go with the common websites. You don't want to click a random website, accidentally, give yourself a virus or something like that, something malicious. We'll go over some common resources in a little bit, but for now, know that you can search online. But if 1 through 4 doesn't work, ask your cohort mates. Okay, I myself am an independent worker. So when I was here, a student at the dojo, I found it a hard time asking for help because I felt like I was bothering my peers all the time. They were getting ahead and I was just that anchor slowing them down. Like, hey, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? I felt like I was annoying them. But that's okay. Hey, that's how it is on the job. You got to have a little bit of tact when you're asking for help. And that's something you're going to learn here anyway. And by the way, so I didn't know this when I was a student here, but some of the friendships that you make here at the dojo can last for life. I went to college and I had a few friends, but I think I made even more friends here at the dojo in a smaller amount of time, just because of how difficult it was, how I needed to ask for help. You'll have some friends for life, and you'll have resources that maybe they'll help you find a job. Maybe they'll help you pass or study for that exam that you are passing for. Maybe there's some new stack in the future that we're not teaching you now, but that friend that you make in the dojo would have learned it and are able to help you teach it to yourself. So ask your cohort mates. And then after you ask your cohort mates, then ask us. Ask your TA or instructor, okay? If you were on the job, you wouldn't go to your boss as your first resource, right? So think of it the same way as us as an instructor. Let us be the final resort. We're here. You've paid us to help you, and we will help you. But we want you to get used to this feeling of, okay, I'm gonna work on this by myself for a little bit. I'm gonna struggle with it, and then if I can't find it, I will ask my my coworker. And that's how it was for me on my first job. I had to ask my coworker for some help. Hey, maybe there's something I'm not seeing, and that's usually the case. And then at that point, if both of you get stuck, or if there's another, and we encourage you, use as many resources. You guys are your own resource here. Use as many of yourselves as you can, and then go to an instructor, because it's so much more helpful for us to help 2 or 3 people at a time than it is to answer the same question over and over to you guys individually. So go through that struggle. Don't spend more than 20 minutes. Don't spend an hour or 2 by yourself, pounding your head against the wall of your keyboard, trying to figure something out that you should have been able to ask your cohort mate, and then come in and find us. Okay, sometimes I may be gracious and say, hey, well, you may be the first one in line. Maybe you're ahead of everyone else, so I will help you because I know no one else is this far ahead. I may help you in that case, yeah. But try to use your cohort mates as a resource, even if you are the furthest ahead in the class. Okay. So again, you'll have your cohort mates as a resource if you make good friends here, for life. But you won't have us as a resource for life. We'll be teaching some other class while you're out in the field. Okay. So lean on each other. Okay. And anything else I want to go over here? It's pretty much coming to an end for the introduction. Oh yeah, let's go over Discord. So you guys should have all of you should have access to Discord. I'm pulling it up as we speak here. Bear with me. Oh, it's right in front of me. Let me pull this up. Okay. This is Discord. It is an application. You can use it online, but we encourage you to download the app. Okay, this is our class channel. If you go to cohort-Josh V, that's me. I will go ahead and send a message here saying good morning. So good morning, everyone. This is our first day of Web Fundamentals. And since we have a little bit of time before our break, I think we should just do an icebreaker to get to know each other. So I'm going to paste a couple of fun questions. We're going to get to try to know each other just a little bit instead of being complete strangers. And then after that, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get to our first lecture. Okay. By the way, I do appreciate a good amount of feedback. So what I will be asking is like a status check. Okay. And that means that you click in the Zoom chat. So there's a chat button here. If you look down below in the toolbar, you'll be able to see that chat button. Everyone should say something like, I think most of us used it, saying hello. I'm going to type hello here so you guys can see. And then when I'm going over some material, I may be going over it fast. So I want to know, I don't want stragglers. I want to know if I'm making sense to you guys. Okay. So I'm going to ask for a status check. Give me a rating from 1 to 10 on how well you're understanding the material. That's going to help me learn if I'm going too fast, if I'm going too slow, if I'm doing just right. It should be between 7 and 10 usually, because this material is going to be brand new for most of us. If I'm doing really well, then maybe you guys are getting all 10s and I can move a little bit faster. So I will adjust based on your guys' learning ability, but we still have the material that we need to cover. So it's going to be a difficult journey anyway. There's a couple more resources that we want you to be aware of here. There is the help channel. If you join this channel, I've joined it now and my voice is now connected. I'll be able to join this channel, and someone will be, one of the TAs or instructors will be joining you here to make sure everything's okay. We'll ask you, hey, what's going on? What do you need help with? And so you can create your own channel, your own waiting room if you join here. I'm going to disconnect from this now. And there's also this channel here, Web Fundamentals, that you'll have access to. It's a channel where you can access each other's resources for Web Fundamentals here, but mainly we're going to be working on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the icebreaker while we have a little bit of time left. I'm going to post it in the Discord, and I'll post it also in this Zoom chat here. So let's try to go through this quickly since we're running out of time. We've gone through the time for the first lecture. Let's go ahead and ask what's your name, where you're located, and your previous vocation, and also a fun fact about yourself. So I'll, since we don't know who's first in the list, I'll create a list here and I'll just ask you individually, okay? Well, how about I start with myself? So my name is Josh Venegas. I am located in Texas right now. I'm new to Texas. I was born and raised in San Jose, California. I am a Bay Area native, and so I'm adjusting to this place here. Hopefully I make my way back to California. Don't know when that's going to be. My previous vocation before I became a software developer, I worked in a lot of vocations. I worked, because I was in the Silicon Valley, I always had jobs in tech as admins, as like a fraud analyst, as a customer service agent. I was all over the place. I did even translation work. I also used to be a teacher. I taught English in South Korea for about half a year. Fun fact, you know, I like to play music on my spare time. So that's what I like to do. So that's enough about me. Let's get on to you. How about Christian? Christian, would you like to share with us?
Yeah. So yeah, hi, I'm Christian. I am located in Washington State. Lived here my whole life. Previous vocations, I've done a few things. I did other TA work in college. I've done retail work. I've done art, was a full-time career that I had for a long time, doing concept art for video games. So I've had a lot of different things that I've done in the past before getting into tech. Let's see, fun fact about myself. That's tough.
I know what it is, Christian, is that you hate like Justin Bieber.
All right, yeah, we'll do that one. Sure. That's
yeah,
very
because
true.
there was a cohort with me and Christian, and usually I play some music. So by the way, I'm Heidi, and I'm also one of the instructor in Coding Dojo. And I think there's one time that I was having a cohort with Christian, and I like to play music during the break. And Christian hate Justin Bieber, and I play Justin Bieber for some of the days. So
that is very true.
Yep. Wait, is it that means like I should go next? Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm Heidi, and yeah, for this deck, I will be sharing Web Fundamental. It's been a while I did all the Web Fundamental because usually I'm teaching Java and JavaScript most of the time. I don't know whether I would teach like Python next or like Java or like JavaScript. I don't know that. But what is the next question? Let me see. Where am I located? So I'm in Southern California. I'm in Orange County. So if you want to have some good food recommendation in Orange County, let me know. I know a lot of good food. Yep. And what's the other one? Okay. So my previous vocation, basically I did a lot of different work before, and my biggest interest, can I say hobby? It's like traveling. So I like to travel a lot. And that's related to my last job. Basically, I became I became kind of like a freelance developer. So I got a small company to try to like do different freelance job for different small companies, like automating their system, something like that. Because I want a freelance job, because I like to travel. So my plan at that time is that I want to travel like 12 different countries in a year, like every year, something like that. And I succeeded. So very happy about it. And fun fact about me, I was, oh yeah. Fun fact about me, well, I don't know how to swim, but I know how to scuba dive. Yep, I learned scuba diving. I'm like, okay, I don't know about swimming, but some friends saying like, okay, I can do it without knowing how to swim. So that's why I went there, got the small license, like introductory license, and I got it. I'm able to sink. That's good. And that's it from me.
Nice. I see some people posting in the Discord. I guess that's a way to get out of talking, but we will hear your voice eventually. And for the next person, I'm gonna pick on the next person before they can type. How about I pick on some people I already know? I was an assistant instructor for a programming basics, which is like an introductory course to this. So how about I pick on Joseph? Joseph, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Joseph, and I go by Joey, Joseph, either one, doesn't matter. I am in Texas. It's relatively close to where Joshua is. And what else we got? I used to be in sales, bunch of different types of sales. I've been working remote for a while. And I like to hike, I like to travel, and I like to learn how to code. So
Nice. Welcome, Joseph. I'm gonna pick on more people I know. David, would you be kind enough?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is David. So I'm from DRC. So right now I'm residing in North Carolina, Charlotte. So I like most of the time I like to spend my time watching anime, those stuff, manga, and what can I say else? So I speak like a lot of language, French, that's my first language, and I speak Russian and English too. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Well, see who didn't post on here. You guys are all too sneaky. Zach, would you tell us about yourself since you haven't posted?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk. So I am Zach. Right now, I live in the Bay Area. And before this, I've mostly been a full-time student and done like part-time retail jobs and stuff like that. And fun fact, I love to play guitar and make music, and yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Zach. Maybe you have to play a song for us here. How about Hector?
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Hector Rosario. I currently live in the Bay Area, or in San Jose, California, near Coding Dojo. My previous vocation was I actually decided to join Coding Dojo, but I was basically an admin for the hardware engineering team at Apple. And a fun fact about me is that I've enjoyed hiking a lot while I've been in the Bay Area and like exploring new stuff. So anything like nature-wise, definitely enjoy it, whether it's a sunset or a sunrise, or just like, yeah. And to code also. Just really been enjoying myself ever since we joined with the programming basics section last week.
Awesome. Thank you, Hector. And I'm picking here at random by people that didn't post yet. Brian, nice to meet you. Would you introduce yourself to us, please?
Yes, hi everyone. Wait, can you guys hear me now? That's good. Okay. Hi everyone. Awesome. Hi everyone. My name is Brian. I'm currently located in New York City. My previous vocation was freelance digital artist, so I designed just different types of artwork for people in different industries. And fun fact about me, I was actually born in a valley in the mountains, pretty much in Dominican Republic. So I come from like the jungle. So nature is like my primitive nature, you can say.
Thank you.
Sorry to
Appreciate
sorry
that.
to interrupt. I'm glad that we have another fellow Dominican. I'm also Dominican myself, so let's go.
Maybe we'll make a separate Dominican channel. We can all speak Spanish in. Let's see here.
Hey, Josh, I'll go. I haven't.
Thank you,
I'll just
Peter.
introduce myself. Yeah, you bet. Hey, I'm Peter. I live in the San Francisco area. Background is in different types of marketing and e-commerce companies, etc. Let's see. Fun fact. Contrary to what Heidi said, I actually do like to swim. I actually am usually in a pool like 4 or 5 times a week, swimming with a master's team. I also like to scuba dive as well, although I haven't done that in quite some time. One other note for Brian and Hector, I actually lived in the Dominican Republic for about 3-4 months, a long time ago.
Nice. What were you doing there?
I actually went down there to practice Spanish,
Oh,
much of which I've lost, although I studied it in Costa Rica first, and then I went to the Dominican Republic, and I really couldn't understand much because it was just such a clipped dialect. I had a lot of difficulty with it.
okay. Well, you have Brian and Hector here to help you remember. If you ask them for help, they might just give you an answer in Spanish. So.
Oh God,
Yeah,
help me.
I'm
Good
always
luck.
waiting
Oh,
to
good.
speak to people, by the way. So
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
yeah.
That's good because I was hoping to make this even more challenging. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think that should wrap this up. Unless anyone else would like to speak, we have a lot of material to cover and we're going over this time allotted here. So anyone else would like to introduce themselves?
I can go with Josh.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Dia. My previous vocation was civil engineering before I made the switch. Fun fact about me, I was born and raised in Amman, Jordan. Another fun fact is I grew up loving football, which is soccer. And Messi's Lionel Messi's biggest fan. So I've watched him since his debut in 2005. So him winning the World Cup this year was one of the happiest days of my life. He ended the debate of the good debate, and that was enough for me.
Do you play soccer yourself?
I do. I used to play a lot when I growing up, but now I've become more like I watch and I just enjoy I'm more analytical about it, you know.
Okay. What position?
But I like to play CDM.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like to control the whole flow of
It's a lot of
the
running.
game, you know. Yeah. So Busquets is one of my favorite also players of like how he's so graceful with the ball, you know, and that's how I like to be.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that should wrap this up. And unless there's anyone else, let's go with Adam. Would you like to introduce yourself? I don't see that you posted.
Sure. My name is Adam. I am currently in Memphis, Tennessee. My previous jobs, I worked as a realtor for the last 2 years, and I worked in logistics for 3 to 4 years. Fun fact about me is I love collecting sneakers. I've got a pretty massive collection. So yeah, it's probably my favorite hobby.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite sneaker?
Probably the Jordan 1 Chicago, red, black, and white. Can't go wrong with that.
Cool. I used to work for a tech credit card company and they went out of business, but they used to have this app that would change your credit card number because it was just like a way to cancel subscriptions, but a bunch of sneakerheads would use it to put a bunch of reservations on brand new sneakers.
Oh,
and I just learned about like that world. That I had friends that were into that, but I just never had the money for that.
Yeah, it gets a bit crazy.
But cool. All right. Well, I'm glad that we get to know each other. I hope we get to know each other a little bit more as we go along. It'll be a short time, but it'll be sweet. So let's take a break now and get ready for our first lecture. And let's meet up at 11:25. So let's take a break, 10-minute break, and we'll be back.
You said
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
you put the time in Central Time. Just
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
10,
Even I am
25.
adjusting here. Okay, we'll be back at 10:25. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at my own thing here. 10:25.